Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Idaho Springs in the United States of America. As you will have probably guessed, the Clear Creek Narrow Gauge Railroad has been released, and well, before I do go on to the actual route and the locomotives, let me just explain real quickly. If you've bought this on Steam, apparently there was a little error. No, if you're going to buy this on Steam, apparently there was an error when it was uploaded. There's two different versions available on Steam. One is available for people inside the US, and one is available for people not inside the US. Not fully sure what the differences are. I think it's just a little bit different content inside each pack. I think Americans get a little bit more content. So, yeah, make sure you buy the right pack. So, it's literally come out minutes ago. I have to say, I was very quick at getting it downloaded. And I have to say, this is the first. I've just loaded up a free roam scenario, and wow, what a route! Oh, hang on a minute. I'm making a video. All right, hang on. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Cow catcher. Okay. Sorry about that disruption. So yeah, what was I saying? I just had to talk to my sister, and I've totally lost my train of thought. Get it? Train of thought. Anyway. I think we should have a little play. Now, this is the first time I've ever driven something like this. So, ooh, this is an interesting cab. It looks like the driver is sort of separated from the fireman by the boiler. I'm guessing that this is got an automatic fireman on it. Ooh. Finally, we have an animated bell. How are the headlights? Meh. So, let's set the road. I think we should do a classic American style setting off on our journey. So, drain cocks are open, and we're going to head off. Ooh, cylinder cock steam. Not really sure what that thing on the smokestack is. Well, there's different sounds whether the drain cocks are open or not, but I don't think much of the drain tap sounds. Definitely quite interesting. I have to say, the textures, this engine looks incredible. So, here we go then. Let's do some Americanisms. Power! I don't really know what the speed limit on this line is, so we'll just sort of do what we can. It's a neat little caboose car. Oh, how cool is this? How cool is this? Oh, is this a steep grade? It's a 3% gradient. Power. Where's the fire? Power. Why ain't I going anywhere? Have I left the brakes on again? No. Well, this is weird. Okay, well, I've kind of given up with that freight train because didn't really know what was going on. Oh, there's people! Oh, hello. He looks like he's loving life. You'll excuse me, everybody. I probably should have set the road first, to be honest, but there we go. Yeah, probably ought to actually have a look at this. Yep, we're all set. I don't really know where we're going. That bell is annoying. Okay. So we're off and running. Which in the last engine I was completely unable to do for some reason. These coaches, little narrow gauge coaches, oh, they're insanely good. Suppose I should do these level crossing signal things. What's the speed limit? 18 miles an hour. Wow. 18 whole miles per hour. Let's be as loud and annoying as possible. Uh-oh. I probably should have checked the points first. If I'm honest, I don't really know why I'm still ringing that bell. Oh, there's a water tower. Cool. How cool is this water tower? This is seriously like the coolest water tower I've ever seen in my life. Now, how is that for something in Train Simulator? Whoever would have thought we'd have seen a scene like this? Shut bell. Oh, yes. I'm not really sure whether this version of the railroad is like sort of set, what year it's set in, whether it's set in like the, you know, in its heyday. I guess it is. So I heard a cow. Where are we going? Oh, we're heading out into the hills. I am assuming that we're making... Whoa, crap. What's the speed limit? 18. I'm doing 25. I'm sorry, Americans. I am letting the side down. Let's slow down a little bit. I stopped shoveling coal because I don't really... This flange squeal is really annoying. Very excessive flange squeal there, I think. Although we do have plenty of steam right now, so let's see. Yeah, there's no gradient. No, there's a 1% gradient. Whack the injector on for a bit. Gotta say, this flange squeal is very excessive. Don't know why there is so much of that. That's annoying as hell. We're only doing 20 miles now. We're not going like 1,000. We're not a TGV here. So, look at that. If you're thinking of getting this route, I think this scene sort of just sells it, as far as I'm concerned. There is talk, and I've been developing the scripts for Series 2 of Over the Hills. And one of the things I thought about doing was, because those of you who've been watching will know, what the hell is that thing? Is it like a narrow gauge railway? It's like a little narrow gauge railway that goes under our narrow gauge. There's a narrower gauge railway that goes under our narrow gauge railway. All we need is a standard gauge line on the top. Going too fast again. And I've filled the boiler. The boiler is too high. Why don't you people tell me what I'm doing wrong? Right, okay, we're approaching a yard. I am assuming that this is some form of station, which we're not going to stop in. Look at that. The Clear Creek Narrow Gauge Railroad, which we are flying along. A little bit too fast again. Alright, we slowed down now. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, you may remember that I mentioned in Over the Hills that a consortium of Americans come over and invest, even a Canadian, and they basically invest the capital needed to keep the line from closing. So what I'm sort of thinking is in Series 2, something happened, something went psst, and I don't know why. I don't like this. So thinking of having some form of reference, or, you know, what's the right word? Just like a story where some of the characters will travel, not the engine, but the people will travel to this line, and it could be like some form of combined company that runs this line, which is preserved in the United States, as well as the Pennoy Valley Railway. But we will see. We'll have to see how well it plays out, because I'm not sure, you know, where would a narrow gauge railway be in 1965 in America? Because I imagine by 1965 they were all either gone, or they were... Oh, are we supposed to go over there? I'm assuming that we weren't, because that looks like a siding. Okay, cool. Let's go around this way. I prefer to go around this way. What's the speed limit? It's still 18. I love flange squeal. It's the greatest thing ever. There is nothing greater in life than the sound of flanges squealing. Oh. Let's make as much noise as I physically can. Oh yes. Shut up. It almost feels like I'm riding on the Brecon Mountain Railway, which is the wannabe American railway that we have here in the UK. I feel like some Red Indians are gonna pop out and like shoot me with a bow and arrow any minute now. We could go panning for gold. Let's stop the train and go panning for gold, is it, people? How would you feel? This man, I think we're gonna call him Fred. How would you feel about that, Fred? Should we stop and do gold panning? You look a little bit too businessy to do go. Hello. What are you holding? She doesn't look very happy. Whatever she's holding, she doesn't look very happy about it. Neither does she. So, yeah, nothing to worry about there. This route really does have to be driven. You have to adjust the regulator all the time. You can't seem to just power it like I normally do. I guess because in real life most railways don't just power it. That's theme music from a well-known American railroading like song thing, but for copyright reasons we're not allowed to say it, so for the purposes of this video it's just he didn't hear it, so haha. Alright, I might be going a little bit faster. Just to see what this little thing can do. Is this the little engine that could, or is this the little engine that probably could have but couldn't be asked? I don't really think that's an appropriate song, but there we are. Look at that car. What a very old-fashioned car. Kind of predates this, or it does actually date where this is set, I suppose. We've made it to Lawson. With bell ringing and steam blowing and whistles howling. Oh, that sounded a bit strange. Maybe I'll actually stop in the right place this time. How cool is this, though? Proper American narrow gauge for train sim. So, we've made it to Lawson. I think this is where we'll call it the end of the video, because it was just to give you a brief glimpse of it. So, impressions so far from me, brilliant. I have to say, the route itself, the scenery is spectacular, even all the way at the top of these mountains. It's still, you know, there's still detail to be found. I mean, look how far away from the engine we are, and you can still see some details. I can't even see the train now. There it is. You could just about make it out. The game won't even render it that far, but you can see that they've really done a good job of rendering the mountains and the landscape. Only criticism, and it's not really a big criticism with the landscape, it's more of a feature which I would love to see brought into Train Sim, is the addition of animals. Especially on a route like this, you could have wild oxen and deer and all sorts of other weird and wonderful things running around. A bit like this, you know, if those of you who've played Grand Theft Auto 5, you know that there's a lot of deer or oxen or whatever running around. And, you know, out in the sticks like this, you really would see a lot of wildlife. What's all the way up here? It's another town. There's a few different towns. We're not going to explore the whole route. It was just to give you a brief glimpse of what you'd be buying. The only criticisms I have with the engine is the sounds are... Let me just show you what I mean. The bell's fine. The bell is actually animated, which I really like, but then when you press B, it stops instantly. It doesn't sort of go ding and then that's it. The whistle, you can hear the audio loops replaying themselves. The steam cocks, or drain taps as some people call them, don't seem to make any noise whatsoever. My biggest bugbear is that with the coaches, when you go around not very sharp corners, you get the horrible Rail Simulator days flange squeal effects, and they really are horrifying. You know, on a narrow gauge route like this, I would expect to hear much better flange or, you know, track work sounds. But it doesn't detract anything from this piece of DLC. I have to say, it's a fantastic buy. £20 available on Steam right now. Go and get it. So that's all from me, and I think this is all from our friend Jeff here. Jeff, the massive American narrow gauge loco. So, bye everyone.